After Arsenal getting that colossal win against PSV, they've gone ahead to find themselves in a situation of obviously jubilating all over the world, and Arsenal fans are always geared up when they obviously collect these wins. So welcome to Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really doing great. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a day. Rokani David is my name. We are here to do the player ratings from the first to the second to the last 5 players that came on the field of play and obviously put up and get also Arsenal get the job done. So today is really a Thursday. Champions League football is done and we are going into the UEFA Europa League, and we're going to see West Ham, Brighton, Aston Villa and Liverpool representing the English side, plus other teams that are going to play into the UEFA Conference League. Not so? So let's get geared up for this. Now let's go for the player ratings. David Raya keeping a second clean sheet in a row for Arsenal, and he didn't have a lot to do, but the credit I'm going to give David Raya for is for his ball distribution that he really had, that was really on point. It was really legit, and it shows you the big difference in between him and Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale cannot obviously make those long range passes really accurate, but I saw David Raya make close to 3-4 long range passes that are really great. He passes in the midfield, he passes wide, right and left, and obviously he's a very good reference point for the club of Arsenal, meaning that Ramsdale might find it hard to obviously dislodge this man in between the stitches of Arsenal. But I know where it's going to matter most, when he's really going to be tried, and I don't think in the game of Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday he's going to be the main man to play a role into the side of Arsenal as they take on Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday. So I'm giving David Raya a 7 out of 10. He really played very, very well. When we go to the right back, that is Ben White, there is a run that he made, that showed me that there are lots of things that Ben White still has in his locker that is not going to unleash at this time of talking. He's really a very good player. He's going to have to show us the quality, and every day that passes by he becomes a more and better player for the side of Arsenal. Ben White really did the needful, and though we never saw him go forward this time around, because we know that Neil Lang couldn't really allow him obviously cross that center line, because Arteta told him that this is the threat that you have to obviously stop, and went ahead to stop it very well, though he really had a very busy night. But Ben White really defended very well, press resistant. I saw one of the balls when he was pressed down towards the touchline, and he made a very good flick, and obviously he really passed that ball back to William Saliba. He's improving, his confidence is really huge, and you really understand why Arteta has gone obviously to really play him as a right back for Arsenal, because he's looking in for press resistant players and this man is obviously one of them that is going to hate obviously put in a very huge fight as far as this beautiful game of football is concerned between Arsenal and PSV. So I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10. That back of Arsenal keeping a clean sheet for the very first time at the Emirates really deserves credit. That is it. Left back Zinchenko, I thought Bakayoko was going to give him a hard time, but Bakayoko never really gave Zinchenko a hard time, because the way Zinchenko really marked him couldn't really allow him to create lots of havoc into the vicinity of Zinchenko. And the way Leandro Trossard really tracked down, it was really huge, and the compactness of Arsenal in their first third of the pitch, it showed how great and organized Arsenal was for this game, because they knew that the only threat that PSV would close to Arsenal was obviously going to be from the wide areas. As I told you, that they're having 2 players, Bakayoko, the right attack midfielder, facing Zinchenko, and the other guy known as Neil Lang facing Ben White. If they close them down, that will be endgame for PSV, and that's what the case. They closed them down, and that was the end of the day, and things really never went on as planned by PSV, and Arsenal went ahead to annihilate them in the right way possible. And in a scenario like this, you obviously just have to know that things are obviously gone the wrong way. So Zinchenko, 7 out of 10 for me. He deserves a 7 out of 10. And for that pass, oh, that pass he does for Trossard for the third goal that Arsenal score against PSV, it was really great. Really great. He tried it out twice in the game of Everton. It never worked out, and he comes to obviously make it work out in a different way of football altogether, and it really looked great. Very, very, very good. Very good ambition, and his anticipation was really right, and that round of Trossard was really immense. So I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. Let's go to the central defense. Gabriel Magalhaes. Obviously, he had almost nothing to do. The center forward, Luke de Jong, was not really played in a lot. He was never played in a lot, and obviously there is no time. I saw him as a threat to the side of Arsenal. All what he had to do was to really win the aerial duels and obviously knock that ball around and obviously try to play a high line and keep it tight. Gabriel Magalhaes, 7 out of 10. We go to Saliba. Oh, this guy. There's a clip I'm going to hate to see for this game when Saliba really had to run and close down Luke de Jong. Intercepted the ball, you know. He never hurried to obviously play it, and he made what we call some good takeoffs of players, and then he passed to the midfield. That is Saliba for you. This boy is proving that every day that passes by, he's becoming a better and better player. That is William Saliba. So God is with him, and looks like the sky is not the limit for William Saliba, because there are even footsteps on the moon, and he still has a lot of ceiling ahead of him, and his abilities are really those that you always reckon with as a side of Arsenal. So I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Let's go to Declan Rice. You know, it would have been one of the most interesting battles if at all Sangare was still playing for PSV, but Sangare signed for Nottingham Forest, and PSV had a very lightweight midfield that Declan Rice just enjoyed himself throughout the game. He never had lots of interceptions to make. He used to get the ball without being pressed. Looked like PSV came in through, and they are so much afraid that they are obviously going to obviously lose the game. And if at all I'm PSV, why did they park the bus? You know, it would have been better for them to come, park the bus, make it hard for Arsenal to score, because most of the goals that Arsenal scored, it was like hitting PSV on the break. The first one for Bukayo Saka, you see to it that they come in through and a shot is hit by Odegaard, and obviously Bukayo Saka scores. Then sorry about this. Then after that, the second one, Jesus steals the ball the center line because they're trying to play high line, releases Bukayo Saka. Saka finds Trossard places it to the left bottom corner. 2. The third one, Zinchenko plays a pass that breaks through the central axis, and obviously Trossard runs and meets it. He finds Jesus making a run from the right half space and hits that ball in the back of the net. So why did they park the bus? They made it easy for us. That's why I tell you that Declan Rice, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Not much work did Declan Rice have to do today. He really never had lots of work to do today, because this team had obviously gone ahead to obviously make it light work in the midfield. So I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. We go to Kai Havertz. You know, if you watched the match preview, I've gone ahead and told you Kai Havertz played his best game for Arsenal. You know, he had some good passes in the final third. He fought for the ball. He could get that ball and obviously run it throughout the midfield. Exact performances that you would call in from a player like Kai Havertz, and he really did a very good job for the team of Arsenal. Very, very good job done by Kai Havertz, and I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10. That is Kai Havertz for you. I know most of you might not even understand what we went ahead to obviously put out on the field of play, but better rewatch that game and only put your eye onto shirt number 29 of Arsenal. That is Kai Havertz. Not so? So after that, we go to Martin Odegaard. He was part of the first goal, scoring the second one, the fourth one too, and he was going to to score his third goal of the season. Remember, he scored his first goal of the season against Crystal Palace. He went ahead to score another one against Manchester United, and then he pulled the trigger outside the Tina's box area, and it really went straight into the back of the net. So those are 3 goals. As I told you that with Champions League in between coming in through, it's going to be easy for the likes of Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, for Martinelli is injured, and Gabriel Jesus to hit 20 goals a season, because that is what you obviously want in a player, and the Champions League is here for them, and Saka's gonna hate to get his, I think, 3rd goal of the season. Also, Trossard is really scoring in goal. He scored his 1st goal of the season on the weekend, and then he comes in through to obviously score another one. So it shows you how good Trossard is, and we scored one against Man City in the Community Shield. Those are 3 goals of her, showing some huge progress at the side of Arsenal. So Odegaard really had the game at his grip. He's the captain, and is going to hit to captain Arsenal in their first Champions League game since 2017. So Odegaard, you are getting my 8.5 out of 10. Really great performance from Martin Odegaard. I go to Bukayo Saka. Saka never had to do in this game, but he was really efficient. I really love the way he really did this, and I've gonna hate to call out him to obviously use this competition to obviously put himself into the anticipations that the very many English fans and Arsenal fans have about him. And today he's gonna hate to show us that he can perform at a very, very good level, tracking that shot that was really taken by Odegaard, and it was deflected back into play by the goalkeeper. Hitting the back of the net was a very good run, and that assist to Leandro Trossard was really immense. Then over the weekend also had an assist. So it shows you that he's on fire, and Bukayo Saka is obviously one of those players that put in one of the best performances today on the field of play, and really he deserves an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Good play, good display for this player. He really looked great and nice. We go to Leandro Trossard. Leandro Trossard, 1 goal and an assist. You know, I really find it hard to convince people that Trossard is a different kind of player altogether, and he offers a lot more to the club of Arsenal and to the players of Arsenal than Gabriel Martinelli. When I say this, someone will say, Rokani, you are mad. But look at what Trossard offers the club of Arsenal. You know, his experience is really unmatched at Arsenal, you know, especially when it comes to the wide forwards that you guys have. Leandro Trossard is a different kind of player altogether at that club of Arsenal. So he comes in through to obviously get the club of United where it deserves, the club of Arsenal where it deserves to be, breaking the dreadlock against Everton, comes in through, scores a 2nd goal, which is so much important, because if that game remains 1-0, maybe PSV increases its intensity and the players' adrenaline always goes up to obviously anticipate that they can just pull one back to obviously level the game. But Trossard tells them, no, you are not obviously going to get into that ilk that you're thinking about. And then he continues to contribute to the 3rd goal. So he's another player that deserves an 8.5 out of 10. Good performance put in by a player. Let's go to Gabriel Jesus. 2nd goal. He's the one who obviously intercepts into that ball and releases Bukayo Saka to obviously make that assist for Leandro Trossard. Then after that being made, he also goes ahead to really score his own goal. That is Gabriel Jesus of the night. And he had some other save really saved by the goalkeeper, and I think had like 3 chances. Kai Havertz obviously had to play him in, and he obviously missed out on that. And this is what I always tell Arsenal fans, that don't judge Gabriel Jesus when you're not going to have to create him chances. Judge him after creating him chances to see whether he's good at this job or not. That's what you want to see. We don't want to obviously have some people who come in through to obviously trade agendas whose stance is not obviously valid, because Jesus has gotten close to 3 or 4 chances. So that's what we want. Every game, get him 3 or 4 chances and see whether he's not going to score, because today he had like 3 or 4 chances and scored one, and one was really saved by the goalkeeper. The other one, it really never came near. It never really came near going in, and the other one was really, he really took another touch instead of shooting at goal. He took another touch. So I don't find it sane for people coming out and obviously trying to obviously slate him. But this season, he's scored 2 goals so far. And how many games have we going to have to play? These are just 6 games, 5 in the Premier League. And remember, he missed out on the game of Nottingham Forest. He missed out on the game of Crystal Palace. He missed out on the game of, he returned on the game of Fulham, right? The game of Fulham, that's when he returned. And he played against Fulham. He came off the bench. For Man United, he came off the bench. For Everton, he came off the bench. So those are 4 games, and he was only going to hit to start one, and the only one is going to hit to start is going to hit to score 2 goals in 4 games. That is some good work put in by Gabriel Jesus, and he's going to continue throwing in such performances game in game. I'm giving him an 8.5 out of 10, and people are wondering who the man of the match is going to be, because there are 4 players I believe are going to hit to perform very well, and I'm going to choose my man of the match, and I know you also choose yours. We go to the substitutes. Fabio Vieira, 7 out of 10. Rest Nelson, 7.5 out of 10. I really believe that he was the best substitute that Mikel Arteta really brought on the field of play. Tomiyasu, 7 out of 10 for me. Then Emily Smith-Rowe. How Emily Smith welcomed him was really great, and he deserves a 7 out of 10 on the day. Which other player really came on? Let me see, because there are 5 substitutes that we are really made. Let me check here. Arsenal and the substitutes that really came on. Where are you at? Arsenal? There is another substitute I'm going to hate to talk about. I've talked about Rest Nelson. Oh, there is Jorginho. I think Jorginho is the one that really left. 7 out of 10. Came in through for Declan Rice and played some 16-20 minutes towards the end of the game. So guys, now the big question is, how do I rate the manager of Arsenal on the day? 7.5 for me. 7.5 for me. That's what I'm giving Mikel Arteta for his good work on the day. I've seen him really trying to think about the Tottenham Hotspur game. These players went on with orders from Arteta that we should kill off this game as soon as possible, and most of his players are going to have to get rested, and they're going to be geared up for a fully rested Spurs because they aren't playing any European football. That is it. Mikel Arteta, 7.5 out of 10. Now, who is my man of the match? I'm giving it to Bukayo Saka. That is it. I'm giving it to Bukayo Saka. He scores the most important goal of the game, that is the opener. Then he creates an assist for the second goal. How do I really go past him? But I would have gone ahead to give it to Trossard too. He deserves it. Odegaard deserves it. Jesus too deserves it, you know. But I've gone in for Bukayo Saka as my man of the match. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Tell me your ratings for these players. They've gone ahead to obviously let you know about into the comment section below. And what are your thoughts about these ratings of the players that have gone ahead to play big part into Arsenal's return to the Champions League and registering their first win that has gone ahead to put them on top of the table, and they anticipate they're going to top this group. So guys, I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslim viewers and subscribers, may Allah really grant you the best that you deserve. And I call it out for now. Good morning. See you later. Ciao, ciao.